Okay. Thank you for volunteering for my Girl Scout project. I will videotape you answering some easy questions about your life, so your stories will live on long after your time. If there are any questions that make you uncomfortable, please just say pass and I will go on to the next question. If you wish to stop at any time, please just say so and we will stop, no questions asked. If you do not wish for your stories to be public information, please tell me so at the end of the interview. Either way, your family will be able to see your video if that is okay with you. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, what is your full name and age?
My full name is Clarabelle, and I go by Kay. Clarabelle, and my maiden name was Knappenberger, a good German name, and I'm Kay Meade now. I was named for my two grandmothers, Clara and Belle, and my mother, my last name started with a silent K, Knappenberger. So my initials were KK, and my mother thought that Clarabelle would be a nice name to give me because of my grandmother's, but I've never really liked it. So I've gone by K most of my initial.
Okay. Were you an immigrant or a natural-born citizen?
No, our family came to the United States in the late 1600s, actually, from Germany. They came because of religious persecution, I'm sure. I think probably my father's family were Pennsylvania Dutch, so we've been here a long time. But each of our family, my grandparents, moved across the country several times after they came to the United States, from Pennsylvania and then across to Illinois and finally out to Kansas, which is my home state.
Okay. So what is your favorite childhood memory and why? Please elaborate if you can.
My favorite childhood memory? Well, I would say probably it's a memory that of Christmas Eve we spent together. My mother was a sister of my aunt across the road on the farm, and my father was a twin. So the twins married sisters and lived on farms across the road from each other. And every Christmas, every day we got together, but every Christmas we took turns at each other's houses, and I was 4 at the time. It was actually my first memory. And I had 2 older brothers, 16 years older, 14 years older, and 10 years older than I was. And my older brother was just out of high school, and he was wanting to go to college. And our family didn't have enough money. It was in the Dust Bowl days. It was 1926. I forgot to tell you my age. I'm 87, born in 1926. So that was, by the time I was telling this Christmas story, it was in the probably 30s, 34, right after the crash, financial crash, and the years of droughts. My father was a Kansas wheat farmer, and those were hard days because we would lose a crop, and that was the end of our money for the year. So it was hard. But anyway, our families got together, and this particular Christmas, my brother that was not able to go to college worked that winter in a filling station down in our little town of Pelosa, and he took scraps of wood and together made me a little dog cupboard. And I can remember being taken into the kitchen to get out of the living room where the Christmas tree was, and the excitement of there was a surprise coming, I could tell. And so, and my Aunt Faye had took me in the kitchen, and I had always wanted a tablet, a big chief tablet, every Christmas so I could draw new things. So she kept me busy there, and then took me out to the living room where my brother had brought in the cupboard. And it was just the feeling of warmth and family and love and the fact that he spent the time making that cupboard for me.
Cool. Was segregation prevalent where you lived?
No, not at all, because Kansas had very few black people. And I do remember one family came to my little country school for a winter, and we just took them right into our school. They lived in a boxcar north of town because of the times that, it was hard to find work and it was hard to find housing. And they had to carry all their own water. And they always came to school so clean and so, so well. We all wondered how in the world they did it. I especially do now that I am older and think about that. But Keith, my husband, came from the town of Hays, Fort Hays, Kansas, and that town even had a sign on it that said no Negroes were allowed in town after 4 o'clock. So they had to leave town. There was a little town of Nicodemus, which was not too far from Hays, and that was the end of the railroad, of the Underground Railroad.